Can everybody see? Can you see?
Yeah, I got you. You're good to go.
All right, so boom. I'm talking about my setup here. So this is what I used for my last legend run.
Oh wait, hold on.
Iron Fist.
Hold on one sec. There's actually a very important question. Phil Woe says, why no pacify? And there's a very good reason for that. It's because I'm using Mystic Dispersion, and I actually want those buffs to come up because that's what's powering my power meter. I need those buffs to come up. If I bring that down by 30%, I'm bringing down my power gain, arguably by 30%, and I don't want to do that. So that is why we're not using pacify. All right.
So
go ahead.
Yeah, no, I don't like pacify. I don't know. Like, I'm just weird, man. I would like it more if when things were pacified, there was a little notification that said pacified. Because it's like, I don't know when it's working or not. It kind of pisses me off. Like, really, to be honest, that's mainly the reason I don't like it. Secondly, I don't like it when I run Mystic Dispersion. It's only 30% max. It's only when you stun. It's like really like doo-doo-doo. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm sound effect. Like, yeah, it's just like it's like womp womp. Maybe that's the sound effect. It's just not. It doesn't move me. So I'm gonna show you what I currently have. This is not the mastery setup I'm gonna stay with, because this is a variant of Switchblade. So this is what I used to run my last run on when I was fighting Dormammu. I probably should have maxed glass cannon. I'm gonna explain to you why I made the choices, and then I'm actually gonna show you what Switchblade is. Remember, Switchblade is not a mastery fixed setup. It is a concept. So I'm gonna say it one more time. Switchblade is a concept. The concept of Switchblade is to be able to switch your masteries at it very cheaply for any need. And the way I design Switchblade is you fix your defense. And it has optimally I would change everything, but then it adds up the points. So it's a fixed defense. So you think about offense, utility, you're switching the blade. So that's what it is. So let me run through real quickly. Man, I'm clicking things. This is a basic suicide setup with almost maxed assassin. And I should have maxed assassin, but the problem is when I set it up, when I was switching around, pop over to utility, I saw the quest. I saw Seaton do the quest, and I was like, oh, snap, all this power gain. I want to use my fist. I don't want to use witch. Let me max petrify. So I went over there and I maxed petrify because I'm like, I'm going to be parrying and I'm going to be pounding. Parry pound. And I don't want Dormammu to pound me, which he did once, unfortunately. He pounded me badly. And so that's why I did it. I wanted to stupefy to max the addition of the stun. Here's an interesting thing. I only put one in parry. A lot of people think that you need to like max parry. And the funny thing about it is you look at parry, it's 20% damage reduction at 1, and it's at 3, it's 33%. If you're running speed and you're running stuff, you don't really need to always max parry. Like, it's great if you're playing high level AQ, AW, because that damage adds up. But if you're speeding, you don't need to max parry. And like I said, I switch. And so on my Switchblade, on defense, I always basically use, if I'm running willpower, I personally always use the exact same 15 points to the left. Just because I like it. It's a good combination of PI. And Dave, interrupt me if we have any kind of questions. If we have any super questions, anything, like, stop me.
No, we're good.
I'm looking at my screen. I'm trying to look at chat. I'm looking at too many things, and I got straight up ADD, so I'm trying to just stay focused. And in my Switchblade handle, because the defense is the handle, I use 3 and Coagulate because I use that to offset the bleed from what is it? The bleed from Double Edge. I mix all these names, and so this in Switchblade stays fixed. Now you don't have to have the same handle. I call the defense the handle. You don't have to. Like, I have had versions of Switchblade where I've kept only 1 in willpower, I've had versions, like if I'm arena grinding, you don't even need willpower if you're arena grinding. I have had versions where I've had in, what is it called? In Inequity. I actually like Inequity with Iron Fist. It's actually kind of, Inequity with Iron Fist actually makes Iron Fist pretty badass. Excuse me, bad.
That's okay. I think that one works on the channel. I can deal with that. It's in the dictionary. So
yes, it makes him pretty bad because he adds so many armor breaks, and if it basically does turn. You don't even need max parry. It turns parries into 0 damage. It also, if he does get hit, really helps reduce the damage because he easily gets 5-6 stacks. But anyway, that's the handle. Right, you got that. This is, you know what I'm saying? I know there's probably gonna be a lot of questions about this. And so literally with Switchblade, I'm gonna show you what I do. I'm gonna actually switch my blade because I am no longer speed questing. I'm not going for any of these new champions because it just takes time and energy. I will spend, let's keep a running tab. Let's see how many units it costs me to switch my blades. All right, you ready, Dave?
Switch them up, I'm ready.
I am recovering my offense. Boom. I'm going over to my utility. I want my parry back up.
Wait, can that almost sound like the old school like Chili's commercial? I want my parry back, parry back, parry back, parry back.
Yeah, I want my parry. I want my boom. Like look, notice notice I'm at 11, right? I'm at 11 points now. 11 points. You know what that means? That means I could take my Mystic Dispersion, which I love Mystic Dispersion, and I can max that out. And I know people have asked questions. I like Max, that's a tongue twister. I like Mystic Dispersion.
Mystic.
Yeah. So here's why I like Max Mystic Dispersion. I like Max Mystic Dispersion because it adds significantly more power. People always say, oh, you're gonna overshoot 8%. 12% is 50% more than 8%. It actually, we've seen it in wars as defenders. It kills a lot more people with max. Secondly, I've gotten good. I don't really overshoot. Like the times I overshoot with Scarlet Witch or Strange is, what happens is, like if you're fighting, the tech symbiote and he counterspells everything. He's like, and he's full.
Yep.
Or, like other guys like Howard the Duck or any other stuff, but it's fairly rare. And I actually don't mind the L3s. I know I prefer the L2s, but the L3 of Strange and Scarlet Witch both nullify, which then fuels Mystic Dispersion anyway, which will give you some more points back, right? So it's not, it doesn't bug me. I like Max Mystic Dispersion. So it is, yes, Gary, it is OP. I think it's overpowered. I think it's expensive. It's 80 units.
It is expensive. That's the OP part of it. That's the equalizer.
It is 2,400 units to get the last set of cores. Somebody asked how it works. Mystic Dispersion is real simple. So it adds power to your bar every time a beneficial effect expires. So what that means is, like, imagine if like Hulk gets Fury and he's done being angry, you get 12% energy. Or if like it's better with like, what is it, Tech Symbiote? He has like 9 armor or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Doctor Strange will come over there and counterspell almost up to all of them. He'll get 12% more power for every one that expires. And so it's great with Witch and them. Their power goes out the roof. And it really sucks for defenders because, every time you dash back with like a deep evade or you do an evade and you get the little, dexterity buff, what happens is once that goes away, you're fueling Juggernaut or Strange, you're giving them massive amounts of power.
Yep.
And the thing I learned too is if you dash back, right, and then it's a dexterity dash back, and then you do it again, that's like 2, and you're fueling, he's already at 25%. You do that 3 times, that's 36%. That's already a bar of power, like 3 beneficial effects, 3 beneficial effects expired with Mystic Dispersion max is already a full bar of power.
Yep.
And that can happen easy. And so you know, 9 or actually even 8 if you do the math, 8 is like a full, you know, what is it, L3, level 3 kind of attack.
Yep.
So anyway, let me finish switching up Blade.
I mean, I will say this on that, what you were talking about is when he's talking about expiring effects, and he's talking about like counterspell and stuff like that. An expiring effect is expiring with time, which is one aspect of it, but the other aspect of it is forcing a nullification through Scarlet Witch, who nullifies buffs, or Dr. Voodoo, who nullifies buffs. If you guys have been watching those Dr. Voodoo videos, he's already sick nasty, and Mystic Dispersion just fuels that, because not only does he put one of the Loas on them, which is an empty buff, but it's an empty beneficial buff, so he is enacting Mystic Dispersion off of something he already applied to you. He's like the only hero that does that.
I'm jelly of your voodoo. I do not have voodoo. I saw that, but I didn't have time to grind for him. I popped some crystals, and the crystals screwed me. They were like all 2 stars and stuff.
It happens, man. Like, it happens. And I do want to point out that Ronan Noob did say deep evade. That is directly from the How to Evade Like a Ninja video. So I appreciate you using that terminology, the Dork Lessons terminology on the channel. I like it. Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, it's a deep evade. Deep evade. My fist. All right. Yeah. So let me keep going. So somebody asked about the goggles, man. Sorry, man. There's so much chat. It's hard for me to like see them all. If you guys definitely want some answers, super chat, we will give priority to. Appreciate it. Yeah. So I use the goggles for war. If you're a serious war player, I'll use these. What are they called? Detect. So I've unlocked them all. I typically use Detect, Mystic, and Detect Science. Mystic at the high tier level wars, Mystic seems to be like one of the most used defenders because basically Mystic Dispersion is overpowered, and it really is. It makes fights difficult, like Magic. Seaton talked about those defenders. Did you notice how like a lot of the boss decisions, I don't know if you've seen that video too, are yeah, man, they're gross. And so I want to know if I need to bring my Captain America World War II into that battle, because he doesn't really have beneficial effects other than dexterity if you do a deep evade. And so so I want to, people are sending me work notifications, you see. Yeah, and so I do that. And I also like Science, because Science, if you run into the people with the wrong Science, like against a Science character, like mostly at the top tier, they don't run Electros, occasionally Rhinos and Spinies. You want to know to go in with your Electra or your Black Widow or your stuff. Otherwise, you can just basically lose a character. And so the Detect Masteries actually save you units. They're not necessary, but they save you units. So going over, let's finish switching it. So I'm going to rebuild. I'm going to rebuild my my offense. So I'm doing that right now. I always kind of just build this like clockworks. I always add these, what is it? Is it 15? I think it's 15 when you add them up, because I've done it so many times. These never change. These amounts never change. Dave, do you agree that these never change?
No,
these 15 that I'm adding?
Yeah, those are pretty much the same. And I mean, you guys are living in great times, because this used to be an expensive thing, like a really expensive thing. Like you had to save up a good amount of units to switch, which is probably where the idea of getting one mastery set up and just keeping it forever came from, because you never wanted to go and spend 200 and something units to switch out every single time, especially if you were, maybe going for a featured in the arena and then hopping back into Alliance Quest or Alliance War. Nobody wanted to spend 250 units just to reset everything and make it, the best for each one. It just wasn't worth it. So the fact that you're adding stuff for like 1 and 2 units is pretty crazy.
Yeah, and so like, look what I've done. Like, so I've already built the core offense, and then now I'm sitting with 5 points. So typically, I vary. Sometimes I don't have Mystic Dispersion. Sometimes I have pure skill. I like pure skill. Dave said he's iffy on it. It's really only good if you like 4 or 5. It's really good for war. It will make Black Widow slice through Rhino like butter. It just helps. There's so many nodes in war now that have such high armor that takes forever. Having max pure skill really helps with your champions. But anyway, so I'm just going to take back my typical one, my typical setup. I'm just switching for probably war and some other stuff. I'm not going to be grinding for anything. I've just switched. I like assassin. I like points in there. Let's see. I'm going to do. Every time I switch the blade, it's never exactly the same. That's the key. So this time, I guess, do I want courage? Somebody was talking about, no, I don't really want. I'm not grinding the arena, so I'm not going to bother with the courage PI. I'd rather just have another point in assassin to have more attack because, you know, I consider this as switching to like pretty much a war offense setup. And this is actually a good war offense and war defense setup. I run some variant of this pretty much if I'm using Switchblade for the war. And you're probably gonna say like, well, man, why do you have 3 points in, what is it, still in, what is that thing, coagulate? You know, I just leave it there, right? That's the point. You want something, there are some trade-offs, but like how many points did that cost me, Dave? How many points, what did we start off with? Did you pay attention?
No, but I can go back. Somebody can. Someone could tell us how many points you had. I mean, I believe you had like 20 something, I thought. Hold on.
Yeah, units. Like, how many units did that cost me to
switch? Oh, your units? It's less than 20, bro.
No.
It had to be around there.
No, it was more. It was probably about 50. I think I had 16, 20 or so, 50 or 70. But basically the point I'm saying is like, it costs less than a crystal, like one featured crystal, to switch and then to switch back. So that's kind of the point I'm saying. Think about that. One feature crystal, you can have an arena, like you can go grind for arena. Hey, what's up, Shah? What's up? Oh, I see names. I haven't been paying attention to the chat, but I see names. I had to give some shout outs to some people.
For sure.
I always, Shah 59, man, he's like the number one on the legend leaderboard. This guy's an animal. He's an ISO 8A. I just saw him pop up in there. Beast mode, man. And Shah 59, I always I laugh at that handle because I always say Shah dropped dime, right? He lost 10 points. He could be Shah 69. Ha ha ha. But anyway, yeah, 1634. Yeah, so like, what was that? That was not even, if I switch back, it's even cheaper to switch back because think about it. If I switch back to suicides, I'm only spending 18 points to recover utility. I'm rebuilding that utility for like, another 9 points or so, right? So that's 18, 9, 20, 27. And then I'm just re-adding the suicides for like probably like around 40. What's up, Tenacious, DMZ? So you know what I'm saying? That's less, I'm not gonna switch it again because I'm not just trying to waste units. You know what, screw it. I'm gonna switch it again. I don't care. This is here for educational purposes. We're gonna see, I'm gonna switch back. Let's assume that, units, man, we appreciate some donations will help so we can do more Switchblade and other stuff, but so let's switch suicides back on. Let's go right back to the same build that I had before, some variant, right? So let's go ahead and add glass cannon. Let's go ahead and add recoil. Let's go ahead and max liquid courage. I'm just taking some unit loss for team just to show you guys, and we're gonna get a final tally. Let's go ahead and add double edge.
I mean, we should take a look also before you keep going. You should take a look at some of your PI on your champs so that you can show like what a difference that makes, going with like suicides as opposed to, a different build.
We'll do that. So let me just go ahead and switch it back. Let's get the final thing and I'll go switch it back again. I don't care.
Oh, we got contest champion in the house. Contest champion Brian Grant. And he's saying what's up to Dave and Ronan Noob. It's nice to have him on the channel. We all love to, go to each other's channels and give some support and, just kind of encourage and stuff like that. And that's just kind of how we do in the YouTube family here. And occasionally I will go to Brian Grant's channel and make a very bad joke Not occasionally. It's usually all the time. All the jokes are bad, but it's all good. Because that's the only thing that's bad. There's no bad blood. It's all good blood and bad jokes. So thanks for coming by, bro.
So I'm just showing you guys. I switched. I didn't switch back to the exact same thing. I'm gonna give you an example of something that I believe this is what I ran for my cable run that I got number 2 spot and legend. I actually recorded that, about 90% of the content. Maybe we'll figure out how to show some of it. I plugged my device directly into, and I used QuickTime to record that legend run. My time was 3:45, like 11. So 3 hours, 45 minutes, and 11 seconds to get number 2. I was sad because I know that I could have got number 1, but number 1, he's beast. Olo is my alliance. He's a beast mode. But just put it away, we were less than a minute away from time. So that stung. And the reason I only have 90 minutes of 90% of the footage is because I unplugged my device from QuickTime and took a bathroom break and played one-handed. And just FYI, you don't play as fast playing one-handed doing a bathroom break. But there's no way I could have sat there like seating for 3.5, 4 hours without taking a breath. I gotta go. Like I drink a lot. I drink a lot of coffee. I drink a lot of water. I stay hydrated. I'm the guy. What's up? What's up, Pixel? I'm the guy in the movies that pisses you off because I'm getting up.
Give me a sec. YouTube guy. UPS.
Of the movie, and I'm stepping over you to go to the bathroom. I rarely don't go to the bathroom. That's why I don't actually like going to the movie theaters, man. I like being at home, pausing the movie, and all that stuff. So what kind of point totals are we at? So this is actually my cable run mastery setup. This is what I ran there. So does anybody got a total point run? How much it cost to switch that? I used a iPhone 7 Plus. So iPhone 7 Plus is what I play on all the time. Like I said, Dave is back.
I'm back.
Pixel
yeah,
back.
Pixel don't like the UPS guy.
So like I said, do we have a running total point? How many units, or I keep saying points. How many units did I start with?
You were in the 15. You were at 1500 something.
No, but I started with like 16. Was it 1620? Has anybody got it? Can anybody? Okay.
Oh, there we go. 1542 to 1466. This is something we probably should have done, but this is why we like having subs on the channel to help us out with these things.
It was less than 200 points for me to switch and switch back, or 200 units. I keep saying points, God. So I think totally, was it less? Let's see, was it less than 150? I started with 1625. So 1625 minus, I'm at 1466 now. What is that? Somebody, I'm not gonna do public math. Somebody do it. Somebody, I'm gonna bust out the calculator. Yeah. What is the total? All right, 1625 minus 1466. What was that? Somebody, anybody. I'll answer your question if you give me the exact math. What is 1625 minus 1466?
All right, I will get that. You're gonna wait for a long time because there's like a 20-second delay between what people hear. All right, so what is it? 1625.
Yes, minus 1466. That's what I ended up.
159.
Oh, I lied to you. I'm sorry. For that setup, it was a little bit more than a featured crystal. So, but like, you get the point, right?
Nice.
You get the point. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
Man,
appreciate that.
What do we got
huge,
here?
Man.
Dude, thanks for doing all you do and sharing your knowledge with the Marvel COC community. Yo, I've learned a lot from you. Which one of us? Is it yous? Just you? I think he's talking about you, bro, because even I learned...
No, he's talking about you people.
You people.
I learned a lot from you people. What do you mean, you people?
Oh, well, who is you people? Yeah. No, that's great. Chris Addison, thanks. Thank you very much. That is very much appreciated. We always love the super chats here. We'll keep that on the docket. Did you have a question that you would like answered, Chris Addison?
Yeah. super chat guys, man, we'll definitely get to there. You gotta understand, we are getting streamed with so much chat, so much things. It's it can be dizzying. But yeah, I mean, so that is the concept of Switchblade. And I did it for 159 units. I switched it on, I switched it off.